Unit 2. We are doing part 3 of 2.1. We're going to say a few things more about exponents, and we want to look at negative exponents. For instance, if I have a to the negative 3, it means take a to the positive 3 but put it under 1. If I have 3 to the negative 3, take 3 to the positive 3, put it under 1. But this one I can work out, 3 to the positive 3, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Right, so what would we do for negative exponents? We would calculate the exponent. So in our example, we calculated 3 to the 3 equals 27. And then take the reciprocal. We have in Unit 1, when we spoke about dividing by fractions, we said the reciprocal is flipping it over. So 27 is really 27 over 1. So if we flip it over, we get 1 over 27. Right. Let's have a look at multiplying with exponents. Here your rule is, if I have something, say p to the 3 times p to the 2, we've got to remember what this really means. P to the 3 means p times p times p. Then I've got my multiplication. P to the 2 means p times p. Oh, what do I have now? 5 p's, so p to the 5. So you add exponents only if the base numbers are the same. If I had p to the 3 times q to the 2, the only thing I can do is drop the times sign, but I cannot add exponents. They are different variables. Let's do one more example. X times x to the negative 2. So remember, x is really x to the 1. I like to actually write that 1 in there. So now, if you add them, you're adding 1 plus negative 2, so it's x to the negative 1. Oh, how can I write that? 1 over x. Okay, let's go back to basic, the variables, not necessarily exponents. And we're going to look again at multiplying the variables. I just want to write this quickly. If we have x times y, there are different ways we can write it. You can write x dot y, but that is not the decimal point. Notice that the dot is in the center, not down where our decimal point normally is. Or we can just write xy. We could also have put them in brackets. And remember what we said, you can also swap them around. It all means multiply the one by the other. Let's do an example. I have 2ab And if the brackets are touching, it means multiply. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. It doesn't mean subtract because the brackets are touching. So that means multiply. How would we do this? Well, you would look at the similar ones. They don't have to be exactly like terms, but you would take the numbers first. 2 times -5 is -10. Then we generally go in alphabetical order, so it's going to be a to the something. So I've got a to the 2, and remember this one was an invisible 1, so it's a to the 3. And b to the something, both b's have a 1. Remember the second b is not to the 2. Both b's have a 1. If I add them, I get a 2. So this was an example of one term multiplied by one term. In the next session, we're going to look at more than one term and how we multiply them together.